Good afternoon. How are y'all doing? I'm your host, John Ting of greencardguys.tv. I'm here to solve your immigration problem or even prevent it from happening in the first place. And this is what we do. We share information, share knowledge. That is what we want to do so that hopefully you don't have to run into these problems that we hear about every day. And there's a whole host, a long list of potential problems that people unfortunately face. And the most common one right now is about your case being delayed. And part of it is outside your control. Sure, the government uses the excuse of pandemic far too often, unfortunately. However, in the meantime, is that there are a lot of things that you can do beforehand, before you even file the case. And so we get calls about people complaining about who they hired. It's not always a lawyer, sometimes like a consultant or notario. And so we do have some tips about that, how to speed up, um, if you haven't filed your case at all, what to consider, but also what you can do to speed up your case after your case has been filed. Okay. Because there are some options that you might not be aware of. Okay. But in the meantime, if you have any questions or just comments, please drop it in the comment section and I'll do my best to answer your question. Um, if you're new to the channel, welcome to greencardguys.tv. We do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion to see if we can point you in the right direction. Now, the way to do that is to unlock those free 15 minutes is to wait, continue watching. We're going to share the secret code with you towards the end of the show because we really want to um, provide a benefit to those who follow us and subscribe to our channels. We greatly appreciate it. And the first thing to cover right now, folks, is how to speed up my case. First of all, to speed that up, you have to understand why is your green card case taking a long time. For right, the main topic is green card, but that's most people. But it's not just for residency status. It can be for your visa, non-immigrant visa. It can be for which includes like H-1B. Even just to get the freaking stamp is taking forever for people. Your petition's already been approved, H-1B, maybe back in April or something. And then you've been sitting abroad in your home country, just waiting after the interview and then waiting for the stamp. And so that's frustrating. And you might be wondering, why the heck is it taking so long? So that's just one scenario. Or there's other situation where you're waiting abroad and or I'm sorry, here in the US in your wedding, you've filed for citizenship, naturalization process to become a US citizen. I don't like using the word naturalization. It sounds like a rigid process. This is for you to become a US citizen. You might find it hard to believe, but there have been a lot of cases that we've helped related to just becoming a US citizen. Now, unfortunately, because, yeah, part of it is because of the pandemic, but all these different scenarios I've mentioned just now, there's a lot more also, but it happened before the pandemic as well. The government, unfortunately, is just not that efficient in terms of processing immigration cases. I mean, think about it. Have you been to the US Post Office recently? Maybe even last year? Not even talking holiday season. I think you know what I'm trying to say. They could use some updating. Something needs to be fixed. Okay. I know the lines also. Um, but yeah, it's just poor customer service, usually, especially, and I get it when there's a long line, people, it can get pretty crazy in there. But think about it. That's controlled by the government, right? So if they can't get the US Post Office shapened up and be more efficient, what makes you think uh, that it could be quick for immigration? So yes, Mr. Ahmad, great to see you. Absolutely, absolutely. What the best thing to do, Mr. Ahmad, will email you. The link is it's on our website though. Okay, so let me share that. See if I can. Got a lot of tabs open. Okay, Mr. Ahmad. Let's see. Okay, greencardguys.com. So this is a great question by Mr. Ahmad, and that is, ooh, let me share my screen. Absolutely. So we offer free appointments. We, I know it may sound strange to say free, but it's Tuesdays and Thursdays for clients. Okay, for 15 minutes. Now, of course, if you're abroad, the timing might not be perfect. Okay, avoid my picture, but go to contact us, and even though it says pay strategy consultations, there is one box for follow up for current clients. So, Mr. Ahmad, please click here. Okay, and then typically it's every Tuesday and Thursday, I believe, that my team set up. Okay, so check that out, and you can schedule a time there. Of course, folks, for those who are new to a channel, oop, let me go here, make this a little larger so you can see it. Okay, let's see. So yeah, you can pick a time here, but for those that are new, you can click on Take Quiz, and then it will take you to a new page to answer a few questions. All right, it's a little small here. Answer a few questions, and they'll take you next page to schedule a free consultation. Okay, folks. So that's the way to do it. And let's see here. Speeding up your case. This is a very frustrating process. One thing you can do. Yes, Mr. Ahmad. This is we're happy to speak with you. The best thing to do is I have a the thing. Okay, what we'll do is contact your wife and talk to you today. Okay, absolutely. But the best thing to do is call to schedule appointment online. Okay, the link I just shared with you. Let me ask my team to contact you now. Actually, okay. Let's see. Okay, I'll ask one of my team members to call you now. And then for those on the channel, okay, to focus back on this question of why is my green card case taking a long time? It's the government. Okay, so what can we do in the meantime? And the first thing is expedited request. Now, you can submit a request for expedited, but they're not going to be approved for everyone. You can imagine if they approve for everyone, it kind of defeats the purpose of their normal processing times. Okay. All right. So here's the thing. Let me see if I can find it on the website of uscis.gov. And right here. Okay, Mr. Ahmad, I just contacted one of my team members to contact you. So hopefully they can call you within the next hour. Let's see if they can help you schedule an appointment to chat with either myself or one of my attorneys on the team. Okay, absolutely. Let me see if I can point the section. So what you want to do is go to tools, okay, on the website. Now, this is the way you can do it on your own, okay, without an attorney. Okay, so for those folks who have already filed their case on their own, this is the way to do it. But let's see, tools and resources. Let's see if they have a separate page just for this. If I can't find it here, there's something, I would say not recent, but in the past couple of years that they've allowed. And so one example is if there's something going on in your country that you're at right now, for example, like war, but that's not in everyone's situation. So here it is. How to make an expedite request. You can ignore this little alert. That's for have more instructions for people in healthcare or childcare worker. But scrolling down here, it's all like they say on a case by case basis. You require additional documentation to support the request. Now, say may require because they might not ask for it. I mean, they don't ask for it in the beginning, okay? But they could ask later on after you submit your general request. But of course, in your first request, you want to provide as much information by text, by typing it out as possible, so that hopefully they can just make that decision for you at the same time. Now, if they were to approve the expedite request, does not necessarily mean that your petition I-130 is also would be approved. It's just expediting the process, making it faster so that they can make a decision. So you got to keep those two different tracks separately. Okay. Let's see here. Let me show my screen again. But another situation here is there's at least three or four, five, five different situations where you could most likely, you know, possibly get approved, granted the expedite request. Okay. So one of them is, in the meantime, if you have any questions about anything, doesn't have to be just expedited process. But yeah, again, this is a way to do it on your own in case you don't have the financial budget to do this. But first thing is severe financial loss. If you're going to suffer financial loss to your company, if the company is a sponsor or individual, provided that the need for urgent action is not the result of the petitioner or the applicant's failure to timely file the benefit request. So, of course, they have to make as detailed as possible here, but um, let's see here. So, yeah, if next one is emergencies or urgent humanitarian reasons. A little bit more example here is include, but not limited to illness, disability, extreme living conditions, death in the family, or a critical need to travel to obtain medical treatment in a short amount of time. So yeah, you would need proof of that, of course. I could give you example of there's a couple more here, more related to the nonprofit and the government interest, and the fifth one is clear USCS error that it should have been expedited, processed a long time ago, which that's very broad, I guess intentionally. But again, you're not, I hate to say this, we're not entitled to this expedite request. Okay. It, it's just it's just discretionary. So if you're just gonna write, for example, speed up my case, hurry up my case, they're not gonna approve that. They'll just probably throw it to the trash. You need to provide them more information, okay? As detailed as possible. So one way you can try is talk to Emma. And you might be wondering, who the heck is that? Okay. It's the live agent that's on the website chat function. You want to try that. Ask them, be very specific that you're requesting a expedite request on your I-130. You got to provide your receipt notice number. It starts with three letters in the very beginning, then a bunch of numbers after that, and probably the filing date as well, the receipt date. So you need that ready to go. Okay. And I believe they might even ask your date of birth for you as a sponsor and also the beneficiary for a national applicant. So you have that ready, because by the time you need to, if they ask you all that, which I can't recall exactly right in this moment, but usually anytime we submit an inquiry in general, we need all that information, or the government does, and also your address, because I also do need to verify who you are, and if so that not that anyone would do anything wrong by helping you expedite a request, but they do need to verify identity in that sense. Okay, so just be ready for that. Wouldn't want you to scramble at the last second trying to search for it as you're chatting with someone or even on the phone. The great thing about this new feature the government USCS has about the website chat, sometimes it can be faster than on the calling in the hotline. Okay, I'm not saying don't call in, but try the website function first, because sometimes you have to wait at least 30 minutes to an hour on the phone. So that's pretty ridiculous. Well, just like long processing times, it's a very frustrating process. I know that it's a common question right now, So let's say it does get granted for expedite request. People ask, well, what's the next step? What happens after? Okay, now we wait for the petition to be approved. Um, and so the times we've done this and got it approved successfully or granted the request successfully, the petition I-130 usually took about less than 30 days to be approved. Fortunately, knock on wood. Okay, but the next thing. Sorry about my voice. Hopefully, as the weather temperature changes here, at least in Houston, more people tend to get sick. So speaking of, I'm not your doctor, physician doctor, but might want to consider getting a flu shot if you haven't already. The numbers have been high in America. So, anyways, back to legal information, legal tips. You want to file that request, okay, based on these criteria, these options here that I've just shared with you on the USCIS website. We'll also have a guide about it here on a website. Okay, it's tucked in with this one about mandamus lawsuit. There's information about expedite requests. So check that out on our website, greencardguys.com. All right. And then let's see here. So I noticed the other day when I point up here, it's a mirror image. So even though my number shows on my screen up here, it's actually over here when I look on YouTube afterwards. So if you have a question about us, about anything related to immigration, call up here 720-740-4247, and our cares team will see if they can point you in the right direction, and which could include emailing you a free guide. Okay, and or schedule you for an appointment with any one of our attorneys. Let's see here. So after that, oh, okay. Well, examples that we were able to get approved. Okay, is that in China, for example, it's still, at least at the time that we filed it, the quarantine has gotten pretty ridiculous in China and Hong Kong. So because of those restrictions, we were able to get the petition I-130 approved, granted. Okay. And so if you are in those kind of countries that have very strict quarantine rules, you might want to consider expediting. Now, that's just one step in the process. Okay, we got so far, but that's still only one step. Then after that, okay, step number two, folks, is a national visa center. Okay, they're essentially the agency, the office that is not agency, but the office that's is with Department of State, but they are holding a lot of cases. They're holding it up because it used to be where the case file sits with the NVC, send them some documents, financial documents, among other things, and then they'll just send it straight to the consulate or embassy for interview, okay, for scheduling. But now, because of the pandemic and the backlog, over 450,000, I believe I saw the other day, it's a holding pattern, kind of like when you're in a plane and you're circling around because there's no runway available, kind of like that. Okay, so it's stuck right there, and now the process during the pandemic is the consular embassy would contact NVC and say, okay, we got like 10 spots available. Go ahead and send us 10 cases, 10 case files. So it's really dependent on the consulate location or embassy location. It's not like the perfect strategy, but at least you understand the new process during the pandemic. Um, but what else does that mean? There's no mechanism to force the consulate or embassy to move the case along in this current pathway. Okay, but unless you sue them, okay, unless you sue the government agencies responsible for your case. Now that can include of course, Department of Homeland Security, State Department, but it depends on the timing. Okay, really depends on timing. We call it unreasonable, and it's like in quotations because it's not a set definition of like there's no legal code that says okay after for XYZ case does it mean like uh wait 2 years, wait 3 years and then file lawsuit. But The only one that says you can actually is for naturalization to become a U.S. citizen, and that one is 120 days. I believe I saw that. Yeah, 120 days. Let me uh let me check my system real quick. Pretty sure that's what it said. 120 days for naturalization if you don't receive a decision after the interview. It actually say, go ahead and sue us. Okay. I know it sounds strange, but let me see if I can find that document, that website that says that, so you can feel more comfortable about the situation. hmm. Yep. Let's see. I found it. Pretty sure. Okay. But yeah, this N400, not to become a U.S. citizen, this is the only case type that says, go ahead, sue us in federal court because we're too slow. Okay, let me share my screen. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I share that with you because, folks, um, okay, this is the policy manual for USCIS. Okay, chapter 4 results of naturalization examination, and they realize there's just so many applicants, they're not able to offer a decision within 120 days. I don't know why. Why not? Shouldn't be that take that long. 120 days, what is that? 4 months, if my math is correct, about 30 days a month. So USCIS has 120 days from the date of initial interview to issue a decision. If the decision is not issued within that time period of the interview, the applicant may request judicial review of their application in district court. Okay, so district court means federal court. Okay. And by the way, please don't give your attorney, if you have one, a hard time if they don't offer a service for mandamus. Not every lawyer understands mandamus lawsuits, so it's understandable. As an attorney, of course, licensed attorney, we also have to get an extra certification in the court that we're filing in, if we're going to be the lead lawyer in that case, of course. So not every lawyer wants to go through all these extra steps. Okay, and so this is not something we learn in law school necessarily about the nuances of this kind of stuff. This is through practice. Okay, through learning, and so we realize that everyone is waiting a long time. Everyone deserves status, of course, as long as you're eligible. And so we've all our clients that we've helped file a lawsuit, if it meets that, exceeds that unreasonable delay time period, everyone is eligible. Okay. There are times when the government agency does not believe you're eligible, of course. So depending on the case, we may help out as a courtesy, point you in the right direction to think outside the box. We help you think outside the box to provide XYZ document to the agency. So there's no further delay. Okay. So, but most of the time, 99% of the time, it's literally because government's inefficient. Okay. It's not because your case is bad or good. They just need to give you the decision or issue the visa in your passport. So I know it's frustrating. Um, yes, thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. Happy to share this information. There's so much to know, and let's see here. Of course, I can share so much information, but in the meantime, um, okay, so I just shared about naturalization delays, and yeah, it happens for people who already had the interview, and for people who are just waiting for the interview. So we just help. We had winning stories here, success story for our law firm here in Houston. We filed a lawsuit on behalf of two people, a family. It was a son and daughter, son and mother. The mother already had the interview. The son did not have the interview until last week, after about less than 2 months after filing a lawsuit. Now, some people might wonder, well, did the lawsuit really help? Of course it did, because otherwise still be waiting. You want to take that chance for waiting? I wouldn't take that chance, but that's up to you. If you're waiting for status, your family is waiting on you for you to get status, especially if you're having to get your status and then you can sponsor someone else. Yeah, your family is waiting on you. So you need to take action at least speak with a lawyer. Again, it does not have to be us. There's so many lawyers out there that you can contact, and but if anything, go to our website, download the free guide. Okay, mandamus lawsuit, and hopefully it'll share some information that'd be helpful for you. And let's see. Let me go ahead and share the secret code. You're all a bit quiet today. Okay. Okay. Well, let me know if you do comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Greatly appreciate it. And always think it's interesting how far the YouTube channel has reached. But let's see, if you do have the opportunity to give us a call, our number's right here, or you can go to our website and answer a few questions. Here's a secret code. There's benefits of a law firm, but secret code on your on the bottom, which I guess is bottom right side of your screen. Green card guys. I always thought that it was the left side, but maybe I'm wrong. I have to check later. Green card guys, unlock those free 15 minutes. We're happy to help you, point you in the right direction. And of course, this is how to find the form. I think I just shared that with you earlier. Contact us, click on take quiz, answer a few questions, scroll down, upload a form, denial letter if that's what you have, and then it'll take you to the next page to self schedule a free 15-minute appointment with one of our attorneys. Now, unfortunately, we can't help everyone, but in some scenarios, our cares team, if it's not, if we just don't have enough appointments in the meantime, I hope it's okay, but we just depends on capacity, you know. In the meantime, at least we can offer you a free guide because we don't have all the guides on our website, just some of them. Otherwise, it would just be kind of crazy on the website, all jumbled up. But yeah, okay. Y'all kind of quiet today, but today maybe it's because it's kind of gloomy here in Houston. Hope the weather's okay where you are. And in the meantime, friends, that's a wrap. Okay, I appreciate it. And have a great week and stay safe. Okay, take care.